verse number 15. Evam jnatva kritam karma. Having known thus, action was performed even by the ancient seekers of liberation. Therefore, you also perform action as the ancients did in olden times. The seekers of liberation know the relationship between the self and action. What is the relationship between Brahman and action? The seekers of liberation knew that. How do you know that they knew that? For they continue to engage themselves in action. They continue to engage themselves in action, so you know that they knew it. Therefore, Arjuna, you also perform action like them. You also act as the wise men did in the past. The first thing, unless you are a seeker of liberation, you cannot do karma yoga. If you are not a seeker of liberation, karma yoga is not possible. It becomes a good desire ridden action. This difference the seekers of liberation understand. Generally, in the world, the good desire ridden action is seen as karma yoga. That is social service, driven by a good desire. What is the good desire? Okay, instead of thinking about only myself, I think about others also. Seekers of liberation also did the same action, but their understanding is completely different. What is their understanding? There is a difference between karma and karma yoga. Karma means action which is driven by a good desire or a bad desire. Karma either way can be driven by a good desire or a bad desire, but nevertheless it is desire ridden only. Now a seeker of liberation, what is he aspiring for? What is he aspiring for? He is aspiring for reduction of desires. So a person who is interested in the reduction of desires, how that person will act? The same karma, he converts it into karma yoga. Karma remains the same. He doesn't change to any other karma. It's not that he will stop doing that and start up another karma. Sir, liberation means we should not do our routine actions, no? Routine mechanical action should not be done. So we should be doing only what? What? Noble actions, holy actions. Routine actions can't be called as karma yoga. The seekers of liberation have the right understanding behind it. They say, this argument of yours is wrong. Because if you have to act according to your swadharma, it will be the same routine actions only. You can't be doing new actions. As a kshatriya, what is your swadharma karma, Arjuna? You have to fight. But I have been fighting for so long, and if I have been fighting for so long, I should have derived the benefit of that action. Now, how can I get convinced that I can get liberation by continuing to do are able to follow his doubt. A seeker of liberation will have this problem. We will not have this problem because we are different. We are already liberated. He will ask, I have been doing this for so long. Not only I have been doing this for so long, I have become I am an expert in this. Now you come and tell me, go back and do the same action you attain. Liberation is like telling telling the housewife, what you have to do, keep. What is your swadharma karma? Keep. சத்தமா சொல்லுங்க. இல்லையா வேணாம் சார், எதுக்கு காலங்காரத்தால ஒம்பளை மாட்டி விட்டுறாங்க. Cooking, cleaning, this is what? Now, how can liberation be possible by this action? So, Karma Yoga means not doing what I am doing. I have to do something different, something special from what I am already doing. Ancient seekers of liberation don't have this problem. The seekers of liberation didn't have this problem, for they knew that liberation comes only in your regular routine activity. What is a regular routine activity? Monday to Friday, Accenture போய் தான் ஆகணும். That is a regular routine duty. How can liberation be possible in Accenture? Krishna says it is possible only there. For you leave that and come, Arjuna, liberation is not possible. The wise men of the past knew this. Abdina, what does it mean? You don't know, you are having a wrong understanding. Therefore, you want to leave this and take up something else in the name of Karma Yoga, which doesn't help you in attaining liberation. Picking up a new activity is nothing but picking up another desire. The Karma Yogin's focus is on how to reduce the existing desire. So there is a bulk of desires. How do I reduce that? By not picking up something new. And everybody's focus is always on wanting to start something new. Wanting to start something new in the name of, you want to start something new. 2 verses later he is going to say that Aramba, Sarva Aramba. All the new undertakings is by desire-ridden people, Arjuna. Karma Yogis will not start anything. They will not start anything new. In the existing, their focus is on how to reduce the desires. Having gained this knowledge, they were performing actions. Therefore, you also perform actions. Therefore, you also perform action. Meaning, get back into your karma. In the context of Arjuna, it is fighting. Whenever he says fight, what you have to hear it as, not fight. You have to get back to your karma. You have to get back to your karma. But very difficult to do that. Because the mind always says there is something better. Liberation will not be possible with what I am doing. If liberation is possible with what I am doing already, I should have been liberated by now. என்ன மாதிரி சின்சியரா ஸ்ரத்தாவா பண்ணதே கிடையாது சார். ஸோ இதெல்லாம் பண்ணியே வரலன்னா இந்த ஆக்ஷனால இட் இஸ் நாட் பாசிபிள். Therefore it has to be something. Therefore it has to be something new. Therefore it has to be something different. And that new, different has to be definitely better than what I am doing. Abdina, what is better for Arjuna? What is better for Arjuna? Run away. Some forest we will go and sit and we will discuss Tattva Vichara Arjuna, Krishna. We will do this Tattva Vichara. Inquiry we will do. Fighting we will not do. Krishna's argument is the liberator, those who sought liberation did it here. So you also do. All along you have been fighting Arjuna, but what was driving it? All along you have been fighting. You have become an expert also in fighting. But what was driving that action of fighting? What was driving that action? Desire. ஒரு வார்த்தை சொன்னா 3 வார்த்தை. One word. Acquisition and enjoyment. Pride. Fruit. How can an expert say that? All along what was driving Arjuna's action, even though he is an expert in that action, what is it that was driving? Ignorance. That you can never connect. You should know how to connect ignorance and action. How can an expert be ignorant? That too, one expert like Arjuna. That's where this Bhagavad Gita takes our thinking to that height. You should know how to do manana like this. This is how you do. This is how you do manana. How can an expert can correlate that his actions are driven by ignorance? And what is ignorance? What is ignorance? Ignorance behind the driving force of action, ignorance in relation to the fruit of action. If you understand both, as the ancient seekers did, you are performing Karma Yoga. And what the ancient seekers understood, that we are failing to understand. Two things they understand. One is the driving force behind the action. Second is the result of the action. Renduda. First, we'll work backwards. We'll start with the result. What is the nature of a phala? Phala na fruit erthungo, banana. What is the nature of the fruit? What is the nature of the fruit? Nature of the fruit is it gets destroyed very soon. You keep a fruit here, it doesn't remain. That's why the Sanskrit word for result is phala. And phala itself is a wonderful word. Phala means that which diminishes. Phalam nale that which diminishes nartham. We don't, ancient seekers understood that, we don't know that. So we think the result is going to be
Permanent.
out of ignorance, we assume the result is going to be permanent. The phala, the fruit is going to be permanent. But what is the nature of phala?
Impermanent.
Ispalat nashayati iti phala. That is the root. Phala means that which diminishes right in front of you. That is why they kept the karma. That's why they could have kept any other word for the result, no. And we also have been hearing this word phala means fruit, result. What does result means? What does phala means? Phala means that which diminishes. So in order to get that phala again, what you have to do?
Start all over again.
In order to get that phala again, what you have to do? Punaha api. Again you have to start. Punarapi jananam. Punaha api. Again and again you start working for a fruit that which is going to diminish, disintegrate, become zero. If a person has understood this, what will he do? He will not start anything afresh. Why go and start? Second is there anything permanent that can come out? The moment he asks about is there anything permanent that comes out, he says, now you are ready for tattva vichara, now you are ready for jnanam, let us discuss jnanam, he says. Why we are not able to perform karma yogas? Because we don't have the right knowledge of action. What is the right knowledge of action? That which drives the action you should understand rightly. That which gives you, that which get us a fruit also you should understand rightly. And what is the nature of fruit?
Diminishes.
Disintegrates. Diminishes. Becomes zero very soon. If it becomes, the fear is, where comes the fear now? Where comes the worry now? The fact that it is going to go away. The fact that it is going to disintegrate. The fact that it is going to diminish. The fact that I may lose it. Or I am losing it is the fear. Now comes the question, how to keep it? How to keep it permanently? If you understand this as in the result, you will not be worried about the result, you will not be interested in the result, you will not be disturbed by the result. Because you know that, what do you understand? It is bound to diminish. Okay, this is as far as the phala is concerned. This is as far as the fruit is concerned. Now what about the driving force of an action? The driving force of action is desire. That is also ignorance. How do you say that is also ignorance? How can you say that is also ignorance? What is the definition of ignorance? What is the definition of ignorance? As in, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Udamate, what is the definition of ignorance?
I think I know.
Correct. Ignorance means you are so clear, you are so sure. This is what I want. This is what I want. அதுக்கு இந்த ஆக்ஷன்லாம் பண்ணாதான் I will get it. So sure, no. What does the Karma Yogin understand? Is this what I want? Is this what I want? He asked this question. Don't give an answer. Learn to ask this question. Is this what I want? Is this what I want? Again and again and again the question will be asked. Is this what I want? I have said it any number of times. In the book he has written, nobody knows. There is a topic. I tell you, personally speaking, one of the very inspiring topics for me. Nobody knows what they want. But then if I were to ask everybody here individually, everybody seems to know what they want. How do you know? How can you understand that you don't know what you want? How can you understand that? You work to acquire an object of your desire. The object of desire is acquired always. If you do the right action, you get the object of desire is acquired. What you don't get is what you don't get is what you expect through that acquisition you don't get. If object is what you want, that should give you happiness, satisfaction, contentment. It should not occur again. But then it doesn't work that way. You get it, and then what happens? You demand more. Why you demand more? Because what you thought you will get, you didn't get. Therefore, naturally your mind will think, maybe if I get more, I will get that. Remember the bachelor boy story from the Taittiriya Upanishad. It's a story from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Remember that bachelor boy story. The boy A plus in everything. Best in everything except one thing. What is that one thing he didn't have? The best man will always look for a correct. The best man always will look for a best lady, the best partner. Elite matrimonial kuda they couldn't get the best because always some lacuna in that. Best can be given only by the best. Who is best? God is the best. So go and ask God. So the boy went and asked God. God said, what do you want? The boy said, I need a partner according to my compatibility. I want a girl compatible. God said, Tadastu, granted by. Granted. As he was leaving the gates of the heaven, what did God ask him? What is the question that God asked him? Is there anything else you want? இவ்வளவு தூரம் வந்திருக்கிற வேற ஏதாவது வேணுமா? The answer is no. I don't want anything. நான் greedy எல்லாம் கிடையாது. I practice Vedanta. I am not a greedy person. I just want. Came back. The girl came. Three months passed, 6 months passed, 1 year passed, nothing happening. And everybody started asking, what is happening? What is happening now? You get married for what? Child. Here is the No child. He went back to God. Defective product. Can't have a child. Granted. Is there anything else you want? At any given point of time, this is ignorance. At any given point of time, the human mind is so convinced that this is what I want and I do not want anything else. This is ajnana. This is the ignorance. The child came, but very disrespectful child. சொன்ன பேச்சு கேட்கறது இல்லை. என்ன சைல்டு யூ ஷுட் ஹவ் கிவன் அ சைல்டு, சொன்ன பேச்சை கேட்கறது. ஆனா மந்த புத்தியா இருக்குது. Child is listening to me, but the buddhi is very want an alert child, the most brilliant child. Who will listen? Who will listen to you and should outlive? And should outlive you. So before you start an acquisition, the karma yogi, that's what the ancients did. Before they started an acquisition, they asked themselves, is this what? Is this what I want? The answer is no, no, no. A time comes where you actually don't know what you want. But then what do I do then? I don't know what I want, but then what do I do? Karma yogi has this problem. Okay, sir, I don't know what I want. Phala is diminishing. Okay, I also don't know what I want. What should I? Abdu Arjuna's frustration. What should I do now? What should I do now? Answer is get back to fight. How can that be a solution to this? Are you able to follow? He has understood ignorance is the driving force. He has understood phala is also diminishing, resulting in zero, and you have to, and if you have to get that fruit again, you have to start all over again. Over yajna, you have to start all over again. Again appeal letter, again go back. Don't worry. For the next 15 years, yajna is taken care of now. Water relief. But it doesn't. Punaha api. Again and again. Again and again, you have to start. Result is diminishing. Starting point of it is ajnanam. Abdina, what should I do? Get back to whatever you are doing. Adu eppadi solution agum? The ancient seekers knew this. They knew the solution. They knew how getting back to that alone helps. We are not able to get back because we still believe that how it is going to help. Now, what is the answer to that? What is the answer to that? How can you give an answer to that? Convincing answer to yourself. How going back and fighting is a solution to these two problems. How does that work? You understand this, you get the crux of Karma Yoga. The next few verses he is going to say, even the wise doesn't know this, Arjuna. Even those who are very wise also don't know how to resolve this. Even the wise don't know how to resolve this. Andaluk adu paradox. Is it such a big knot? Is it such a big paradox? If you can understand the answer only when you are experienced Only when you experience the paradox. You go to a quiz competition, he asks a question. For an audience, the answer is, now whatever be the answer, it is meaningless as far as the audience is concerned. If you are following it, you know what that question is. You know there is a knot in that question. And you know so much also, but you are not able to get the answer. You are so much in thirst for the answer. What is the answer? How does it solve? How does it work? புரியுதா கேள்வி? நீங்களே சொல்லுங்க. Why wait for that also? Because whatever we say, you are not going to accept. எல்லாத்துலயும் ஒரு mistake you will find out. So might have you only say that also. How does it work? It works like this. When you are doing your obligatory action, which is your swadharma, you have to do your swadharma. When you do your swadharma, what is the fruit of swadharma? What is the fruit of swadharma? Satisfaction, reduction of desire. What is the fruit of swadharma? What is the fruit of swadharma? If you do swadharma karma, there is no fruit. If you don't do it, agitation. Dukkha nivritti avladhan. If you don't do it, it is agitating. But if you do, you will not get anything. Inge we start at the first step itself. We don't want to do swadharma karma because if you panna onnum kadaigadana, then why do that? Ange we have failed. That is why we have to give some meaning. Satisfaction you will get, krita krityascha you will get, your desire will. So some pala you have to give. Some fruit again has to be given. Abdinale, you are still stuck to the fruit. So swadharma karma is karma yoga because it tells you start doing an action unconcerned, uninterested about the fruit. What will help you to do that? Swadharma karma helps because it's part of your nature. You have already gained some expertise in that. It becomes easy to practice it here. What? Always remember this. For obligatory duty, your father takes care of you. When he is old, you take care of him. What is the fruit for that? The Guru gives you knowledge. You serve. What is the power for service? Is there a fruit? Are you able to follow? Your parents took care of you. What is it that you are supposed to do? To take care. If I take care, what is the pala of taking care of? Parents ni kelvi ketta. What does it mean? What does it mean? Correct. Correct, madam. Selfish. Swadharman சொல்லியாச்சு, obligation சொல்லியாச்சு, then what should go out? What should go out? The fruit should go out. You give birth to a child, you have to take care. If I take care, what will I get? What is the phala of that? You can ask that question, but through that question, you understand that person is only doing a transaction. He is only doing a vyapara. If I take care of the Guru gives the knowledge. I am great. I serve the Guru. What will I get? If I worship God, what will I get? Oh, you will get anugraha. Abdina, the fruit is what is? The fruit is what is still driving you. So, how to disconnect? How to disconnect? First thing, in relation to karma, there are only two types of karma. Kamya karma and niyatam karma. That niyatam karma is divided into two. Nitya and naimittika. Adalla later. Karma is divided into two. Kamya karma and niyatam karma. Niyatam kuru karmatvam is the command of the Shastras. Niyatam kuru karmatvam is the command. Do your obligatory duties. Do this. Abdina, what does it mean? You don't have an option of not doing it. You have a choice to do it, Nada. Option is there. Do it now, what does it mean? You have no choice. See, we don't receive Shastra like that. We don't receive the Guru's command like that. We always think we have a choice. And this choice is so meaningless because you end up choosing the Kamya only. The desired end. That desired end is of two, good and bad. Then comes that what karma yogis do, they do obligatory actions. How does obligatory action resolve this problem? Number one, he understands obligatory action. What is obligatory action? A, B, C, D is obligatory action. And then what is the question that you will ask naturally? The A, B, C, D panna? என்ன கிடைக்கும்? Obligation பண்ணா ஒன்னும் கிடைக்காது. Obligation விட்டா அதுதான் துக்க. It is nivritti. That is why it is called dukkha. Karma yoga is a dukkha nivritti. It takes away the dukkha part of it. அவ்வளவுதான். As an example, as a son, you have to take care of your parents. As a father, I have to take care of as a son, I have to take care of my parents. As a father, I have to take care of my children. எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் எல்லாரையுமே தான் பார்த்துருந்தா then what will I do for myself? What will I do myself னு கேட்கறதா selfishness, ignorance. எனக்கும் ஏதாவது பண்ணிக்க வேணாமா? I need time for myself also, sir. Karma Yogi says time is always for others only. And who are that others? Another obligation comes in. Who are that others? From whom you have already derived the benefit. You don't have to go and start. Somewhere, something new. From who you have already derived benefits. What is the benefit? Dronacharya taught you archery. That is the benefit. Now what you have to do now? the best chance you got to show your gratitude to the Guru by hitting him rightly. Karma Yoga. This is Karma Yoga. You follow? By hitting him rightly. This is the chance you got, Arjuna. And what a chance you got to perform Karma Yoga, and you want to say, they will die, he will die. This Sharira, Krishna shows his Sharira. Idam Shariram Kaunteya, he says. Idam na, this na. He didn't say Tvam Shariram. He says, Idam Shariram. Idam na this. Whose Sharira? Whose Sharira? Krishna Sharira, he points out and says, Idam Shariram Kaunteya. This itself is diminishing. Anyway, it is going to die. It's not that only that Sharira is going to die. Duryodhana's bad Sharira is going to die. If you say Duryodhana Sharira is bad, na? My Sharira is? Good, no. It should survive, no. Idam Shariram Kaunteya, he says. Beautiful. You should know that, these are all subtle words you should catch for manana. Idam Shariram Kaunteya. So, you are worried about the body dying. The body will die. You are worried about the body dying. The body will die anyway. Worrying about that which is going to die has no meaning. Correct, huh? Not worrying about that which is Shashvatam is also. You are so worried about that which is dying, and you are not at all worried about that which is Shashvatam. Both ways you are doing the mistake. You are not worried about that which is Shashvata. You are so concerned about that which is dying. Alanali, it is dying, no sir. Go back and do your obligatory actions. And what is obligatory action means? I always understand it like this, sir. See, these are all things that you should derive by. These are all certain things that you have to derive by yourself. I will say this. In half an hour you will forget. You will still think obligatory action will have a fruit. For you are so convinced to believe, you are so conditioned to think that all actions will have a fruit. So obligatory action also will have a fruit. What is the fruit? Santushti, satisfaction, krita krityasya. Doing it itself is so fulfilling. இதெல்லாம் எந்த கான்டெக்ட்ல பேசுறது? இதெல்லாம் எந்த கான்டெக்ட்ல பேசுறது? It will be very satisfying, it will be very fulfilling. அதெல்லாம் எந்த கான்டெக்ட்ல all this will be spoken? To attract you. ஏமாத்தி உள்ள கொண்டு வரணும் எப்படியாவது. Somehow you have to, the jiva, the individual is chasing the ignorance so blindly. How to bring him? You don't know what a difficult task the Shastras have with us. நம்மளை வச்சுன்னு இவங்க படுற பாடுதான். We say no, இவங்களை வச்சு நாம் படுற பாடுன்னு. Actually speaking, நாம ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. Shastras, the strain that they go through with us, somehow to get him. After getting that person in, வச்சு செஞ்சிடணும் இல்லையா? அதான். After getting that person in, first get that person in. How to get that? In that context we will say krita krityasya, desires will get eliminated, all that. Having come in, அந்த மாதிரிலாம் எதுவுமே ஆகலையே. Correct? Having come in, you will ask. What you will ask? Something and all you said. We got carried away by all that and we got in. Now none of this is happening. That's where people ask. Riya Keta sir, but still no change is happening. No change is happening because the Ketadalla to bring you in. Ulla vandavane what you should understand. Adu or bait. It's a bait to get me in. Having come inside, I am willing to shift the gears. That's Karma Yoga. Having come in, I shift the gears. And when you shift the gears, the first lesson that is told is do Karma Yoga. Do your obligatory duties. Then comes the question. What is the question? If I do it, what will I get? If I take care of my parents, what will I get? You should be bold enough to say nothing. Adhan Karma Yoga, correct. You should be bold enough to say nothing. And if I don't do it, I will be disturbed. First stage. Then, why restrict only to your family? Increase the circle. Increase the circle. Increase the circle. இது முன்னாடியே சொல்லலையே. Now that you have come to the second level, shift the gears to that level. Keep moving. Keep moving. This is how action was performed by the ancient seekers of liberation. Therefore, Arjuna, you also perform action as the ancients did in olden times. Purvataram kritam. They did that in ancient times. Are you able to follow? Kamya karma, if you do, you will be agitated. Understand the difference? Kamya karma, if you do, you will be agitated. Niyatam karma, obligatory actions. Therefore, do that which you ought to do. Also avoid. எதை அவாய்ட் பண்ணணும்? காமிய கர்மாவை under all circumstances avoid, under all circumstances perform niyatam karma. But how do I know what is my obligation, sir? How do I know what is my obligation? That he has already explained. How do you know that how do you know what is your obligation?
Service to others.
How do you know what is your obligation? Service to others. What do you know? What is your obligation?
What you receive.
Where you benefited, you have to give back.
Where you are benefited, you have to give back. Still thinking is circling around? Still thinking is circling around the fruit only. Now the question is, how do I even decide my? See, it's very easy to say, niyatam karma, do your obligations. Do your obligations. Eliminate kamya, correct. How do I decide what is my obligation? Who decides that? Who decides that? In the first stage, you decide. In the first stage, you decide. You will get beaten up a few times, then you will understand. Then you will understand. Shastram pramanam te. You have to go by the Shastras only. இதெல்லாம் எவர்தானே எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்ல இதெல்லாம். First I thought I can do it by myself, because it is said, you can do it by, well, then you make a list and then you get a few beatings. I tell you, it's not few beatings, sir. It is very, very severe beatings. And then you come to understand what? Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Whatever the Shastras has said, do that. And what the Shastra says? What the Shastra says? What does the Shastra say? Get liberated. What does the Shastra say? Get liberated. Abdina, what becomes obligatory action? Anything that helps me to liberate becomes my obligatory action. Liberation, get liberated. So anything that liberates me becomes my obligatory action. Get liberated. Now what are you bound by? Get liberated. Now what is the implication there? You are bound. What is it that you are bound by? You are bound by your own likes and dislikes. Your own kamya. What is kamya karma? Desired actions. And what is the nature of desired? What is the definition of desire? Raga, dvesha. That's why he says, Vedanta revolves around these two words, Raga, Dvesha only. The crux of this philosophy is revolving around this likes and dislikes only. Whether you like it or not, you have to do. Whether you like it or not, you have to do. That becomes obligatory action. I have a horrible father. Whether you like it or not, you have to serve. I have a horrible government. Why will I pay? Why do I have to pay? Tax. Whether you like it or not. Are you able to follow? This is how it works. Opposite of that is, I am willing, sir, but the other is so bad. The other is so bad. Prahlada wish every father get a son like Prahlada. Prahlada made God to come and save. Save who? Angada, you miss it. Save the father, not him, for he is already protected. Prahlada is already protected. Now why does Hiranyakashipu couldn't do anything to him? No, he is already protected. That is already proven. How is it proven that he is already protected? All attempts failed, correct. Visha didn't. He was, first thing, what was done to him? He was pushed from the cliff. He fell as though he fell on. He fell as though he fell on a carpet. Scratch kuda illa. He got up and smiled and walked. He is already protected. But how to help the father now? Call Narayana. And if Narayana kills him, definitely? If Narayana kills him, definitely what? Moksha. We should know how to read that also. Definitely moksha. Hiranyakashipu Madhurikara father kalla. What to do, sir? Corrupt politicians are in country la. What to do, sir? Irritating neighbors are in what to do, sir? Whether you like it or not, you have to Whether you like it or not, you have to do. Are you okay till now? Since anyway you have no choice but to do, might as well do it with the right bhava. Anyway you have no choice but to do, might as well do it with the right bhava. This is how the ancients performed. This is how the ancients performed karma. And they attained moksha. Are you able to follow? Whether you like it or not, you do. Then only it is called an obligation. The moment I start liking it, the moment you start liking it, you have to be very careful. You have to be very alert, because that like very soon will turn into it's a question of time. Avladha. Seen any number of people, they start with a like and go as though it is the end. Very soon it turns into a dislike. I like to serve the Guru. Guru says, don't come near me. Why? Because very soon your like will turn into a dislike. That is why he says, say na mama and come. Say na mama and come. But you are getting the benefit of the condition variya. You follow? This is how the ancients performed karma yoga. The most difficult thing here is, it is difficult to serve those who are known to you. It is always easy to serve those who are a stranger. I don't know how it works. You should explore this within your own self. Somebody in Somalia not having food and water will make you do anything. The person at home asks for a glass of water, is getting very clear. That's why he says social service is of no use, and everybody is upset with him for that. Are you able to follow? Why social consciousness means start with those who serve you. Start with those from whom you have derived benefit already. They may have their faults. They may have their faults. They may have their limitations. They may have hurt. They may have hurt you also. What is karma yoga? What is karma yoga? Discarding all this and doing that which I ought to do. What? Serve. Kauravas have done so many bad things to you, Arjuna. You got into the battlefield because of hatred to kill them. Kill them. I am not saying don't kill them. But the reason that you are coming with is wrong. Are you able to follow? What is Krishna's objection to Arjuna? You want to kill them with hatred. Kill them so that they will get moksha. Have that attitude. Have that attitude. Then you are performing karma yoga. By default, what will happen to you? Are you okay till now? One of the key factors in understanding is, when you do your obligation, you don't get a fruit. Panla nada? Panla na ஹியூஜ் கிரைம். அப்படின்னா பண்ண ஏதாவது கிடைக்கணும்ல? நோ 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 நோ. Why? Why you will not get anything? You have already taken. You have already taken. So இதுல என்ன புதுசா, what are you going to, if you still want to take something more out of this also, what to do? அதுதான் கர்ம யோகா. Ancients performed karma yoga. One of the beautiful, see this fourth chapter, jnana karma sannyasa yoga, that karma is packing karma with knowledge. Chapter 3 la he said what to do, what not to do, the technical la he said, concentration, consistency, adalla he said. He spoke about the technique of action anga. Now he is packing that action with knowledge. That's why it's called ஞான கர்ம. ஞானத்தோட கர்மா பண்ண என்ன ஆகும்? சந்நியாச. ஞான கர்ம சந்நியாச யோக. அதோட கண்டினியூஷன் தான் 5th chapter, கர்ம சந்நியாச யோக. பியூட்டிஃபுல் சாப்டர்ஸ். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் he said டெக்னிக், முதல்ல டெக்னிக் கத்துக்கோ. சயின்ஸ் ஆஃப் பேலன்சிங்லாம் யூ கேன் லேர்ன் லேட்டர். முதல்ல sit in the cycle and start pedaling first. So first karma yoga. Then he is packing it up with jnanam. What is the jnanam that he is packing it up with? Whatever we are discussing. Ancient seekers of liberation performed karma yoga, Arjuna. Now how they did perform action? They did their obligatory action. And they said we don't want anything out of this action. They are able to say that with courage. Why are they able to say that with courage? Because they have understood. Because they have understood that
it works.
Backlog நிறைய இருக்கு, indebtedness நிறைய இருக்கு. I have taken so much already. We have forgotten that we were sitting in the mother's womb for 9 months. We have forgotten that. See, at least இப்பயாவது டயப்பர்ஸ்லாம் இருக்கு இல்லையா? டயப்பர்ஸ்லேயே மார்க்கர்ஸ் இருக்குல்ல. 4 ஹவர்ஸ்னா ஒரு ப்ளூ லைன் வரும், 6 ஹவர்ஸ் ஆச்சுன்னா another line வரும். யூ நோ தட்? இப்பதான் எங்க வீட்டில் முடிஞ்சது, அதனால ஐ நோ ஆல் திஸ். டயப்பர்ஸ். I used to think when I was a child, where was the diaper? Where was the diaper? There was no diaper. And no glove also. See, you will not like to touch your own mother. Do you like to touch your mother? Somebody touched it, cleaned it. Because she did all that, you are sitting here now, and the ego completely ignores all that and says, nagging mother, sir. Few more knocks and shocks is required to get back to. There is one shloka, one of the shortest hymns written by Shankaracharya. It's called Matraka Panchakam. 5 hymns for mother. The entire thing is so much. See, there are so many shlokas which is attributed to Shankara. Scholarly persons know what is actually written by Shankara, what is written by somebody else, and they have just called it as. Very few books, everybody has agreed it is directly authored by Shankara, and one of that is Matraka Panchakam. Matraka Panchakam is the hymn that Shankaracharya sang to the dying. What a song! He said, when you need me, I will come and give you. சும்மா கையை பிடிச்சு உட்கார்ந்துருக்க மாட்டேன். I will come and give you moksha for Shankaracharya as a karma yogi. Not because he traveled all over the world, not because he did all that. Every aspect of karma he attended to, including his mother, even though he was a sannyasi, ran away from the family. Yeah, he didn't. When that obligation has to be done, he was there. That is why orthodox sannyasis don't take Shankaracharya as a sannyasi, because he came to take care of his mother at the last moments. See, it happened to Ramana Maharshi also. Ramana Maharshi came and sat in Tiruvannamalai. The family didn't even knew. After a few years, the mother found out that Ramana was sitting here, and the mother came. The mother came and said, "Now ungude irundutuma." Ramana said, what did he say? He said, "Stay. Enak enna kadaikiradho, I will give you that. We both will live here." You know what the disciples told him? You are violating the principle of sannyasa. For sannyasi should not have any relation. Ramana said, "I don't care about you. I don't care about your shastras. I don't care about your sannyas. I will do my obligation." Did that. You follow? Why? Because you are already indebted. See, I'm just giving this as an example, and not to get sentimentally attached now. It means that also. It means that also, but not to get emotional about it. But then it is backed by knowledge. In that Matrika Panchakam, he says that where it's not my original statement, it is Shankara's statement. He said, where you don't like to touch your own mala, how did you touch and clean it? For this, what you did to me, I can be only indebted to you. Nothing can be done in, are you able to follow? Nothing can be done in return. Nothing can be done in return. Because he knew what obligatory action means. Then you understand the definition. What is obligatory action? Panna enna sir kadaikum? ராஜி की फीस கட்டனா என்ன கிடைக்கும்? பேங்க் பேலன்ஸ் தான் குறையும். அதை தவிர nothing. That's what you கட்டலனா it is sin. கட்டினா no certificate will be, அவ்வளவுதான். கட்டலனா it is sin, but if you pay, no certificate will be given that Radha Krishna is the best father in this planet, Nobel Prize will be given. Obligatory action. This is how you need to understand Karma Yoga. In obligatory action, there is no fruit. You are bold enough to say, I don't want any fruit. Why? Because you are already indebted. Foolishly you took it in the past, and that indebtedness is your bondage. Why will you ask for more bondage? Are you able to follow? Adan jnana. This is how knowledge comes in. Foolishly you did it in the past. That's why you are loaded with so much of debts. Indebted already. So what does the Karma Yogi do? Obligatory action. I do this because this ought to be done. Whether I like it or not, whatever I get out of it. You will be crucified if you do that. You say, I have nothing to do with it. You will be given an award if you do that. You see? I have nothing to do with this now. Having known thus, action was performed even by the ancient seekers of liberation. You also perform actions, Arjuna. Now he is giving a command, direct command to Arjuna. You also perform actions as the ancients did in olden times. Arjuna has not yet become a disciple. Samshaya is still lingering. Lot of doubts are still there. Therefore, you also perform actions. What a disciple will do? What a disciple would have done? Gandiva gets ready and start shooting. But Arjuna's ignorance is so deep, lots of doubt is still lingering. Krishna knew that and he continues. And Arthavaram will continue. அது நம்ம நிறுத்த மாட்டோம். அவர் நிறுத்தினா கூட நம்ம நிறுத்த போறதில்ல. But still, what is that you need to understand? How the ancients performed Karma Yoga, they did what they ought to do, with the firm conviction that doing this is not going to get you anything. Not doing it is sinful. With this attitude, you also perform action as the ancients did in olden times. Verse number 15.
Sir,